Yo, what's up, y'all? This is B.o.B, Bobby Ray Bands, and right now we're talking about conspiracy theories. Researching conspiracies and even hearing the word conspiracy. Like, you don't hear the word conspiracy unless you're looking up a conspiracy theory. But I was in high school, about 15 years old, and the first event that ever got me into it was when 9/11 happened. I came across this interview, or this guy kind of giving some alternate ideas about the events and what happened. So that immediately started me down the rabbit hole. I mean, it's kind of like that, man. It's been like that my whole life. I've just been wandering into shit. But as far as the initial catalyst, it definitely was 9/11 and coming across this video on YouTube or MySpace or something, and it was just talking about the different things, like, you know, just the evidence, like, you know, where they said a plane hit the Pentagon, but it was like computers and papers that weren't burned. But, like, you know, they say the jet fuel melted the steel beams. There's just a lot of different things. And then this was around the time Fahrenheit 9/11 came out. Fahrenheit 9/11 by Michael Moore came out a couple years later. So it's just kind of been this bubbling underculture of society that has just continued to you know, peak. You know, shouts out to all the hardworking people at Snapchat. I really appreciate what you do. I have a Snapchat myself. But there was actually a lawsuit filed against Snapchat for gathering the facial scans of people to form a database. So I'm not sure what happened with that lawsuit, but when I originally made the statement, everybody was like, "Bob, lay off the drugs, man." But then it came back and they had an actual lawsuit, and I was even like, whoa. Because it was just kind of jokingly saying, what if they were just, and then next thing you know, I was like, ew. I feel like cloning is used before even celebrity cloning. I feel like in order to feed as many people as fast food restaurants feed, I mean, they gotta be cloning meat, man. It's like, and I think like some stuff they just like have been doing it, and then they just like kind of act like they're introducing it into society, but it's been happening. But I mean, I feel like if anything, definitely the elite and the billionaires are definitely transferring their consciousness into younger bodies. And that's how you had these billionaires that just pop up out of nowhere and they're like 20. It's like, what the fuck have you been doing? How do you get $1 billion? And it's like, what's the other movie with the guy? Selfless, right? Yeah, it's like Selfless. So, you know, I feel like these ideas have got to come from somewhere. I feel like some ideas are some shit you just can't make up, man. Like, so, you know, do I feel like it's been done before? Probably. First off, as a kid, I was fucking terrified of aliens. Like, fucking just the thought terrified. Like, I used to watch this show, Paranormal Borderline. I don't know if anybody's seen that show, but as a 6-year-old kid, that shit fucking terrified me. But have I ever seen an alien? No. I've definitely seen several UFOs. I've seen different types of UFOs. Some of it, like, some people kind of have this spiritual thing with ETs and stuff, but for me, it's not really that. I just feel like it's very advanced technology, or at least technology that we don't have access to. Like, did you know that highways used to be just for military personnel before they were open to the public? Like, what was the public driving on before that? And they were just like, hey, we got these highways for you. But it's concrete, no dirt roads. But I've actually been with people who've seen UFOs, and this kind of seems like advanced technology. There's also a rumor that the technology used in hoverboards is actually the same technology that's used in UFOs, in flying saucers. Is more of a practical explanation for the weather and the erratic weather patterns than global warming. I feel like some people feel like because the Earth is getting warmer, it's throwing off the seasons, but it's not so much getting warmer as it is getting more spontaneous and more erratic. So I think looking into like geoengineering kind of answers a lot more questions than global warming does. Chemtrails is a controversial conspiracy theory because some people feel like there is airplane exhaust and or water condensation that condenses in the air and it's harmless. But before you throw that out the window, two things you have to take into consideration. Have you ever researched and watched a chemtrail being formed and watch what it becomes after it hits the air? The second thing is, I've been flying for 10 years and I'm pretty familiar with airplane routes. I've seen maps of airplane routes. Planes don't fly in crisscross patterns. It's way too dangerous. They don't route like the air traffic. They route all traffic into like channels. There's like, lanes in the sky, so to speak. They don't just crisscross each other and form grid patterns. That's absurd. But fluoride is not healthy for you. It's not. I just don't get why you need to put fluoride in water. Fluoride causes calcification, in particularly to your pineal gland. And also, if you were to just expose somebody to you could expose somebody to water over time. It's not going to kill them. Sunlight isn't going to kill you. But fluoride, where does fluoride naturally exist in nature to where you would need fluoride? I just feel like, I feel like as with everything, you have to ingest it naturally. Even sugar, when you eat sugar from fruit and you get it naturally, it's more healthy than if you were to eat a processed version of it. So I just feel like, fluoride is not healthy for you. I'll say this, regardless if you believe that there's a secret society controlling the world, you better believe that it's a capitalist society, and the most powerful and the most elite definitely play a huge role in the laws that are passed and the decisions that the governments and the world governments make. And there's actually proof that about 25 banks kind of own the world, and then like the banks are kind of like fronts for the insurance companies, or vice versa. It's a long story. I feel like it's an inside job. Just the evidence that has surfaced over the years. I feel like there was definitely there was an insurance policy taken out on the building for terrorist attacks. Ironically. And it's just a lot of different things that are kind of don't add up. So I definitely feel like it's an inside job. Not sure if I would go to the extent as to say it was a hoax, because it definitely affected the world regardless. So I feel like it's definitely inside man on the plan.